I'm not alone. Because
I don't think you're going to.
I don't think I'm going to do well.
Not even try.
Because we think, on the one hand, you know, you have all these great instincts and these things that you're doing for the United Nations. On the other hand, there's a little bit, if I was talking about a guy, I would talk about there's still a lot of outlaw in you. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of free spirit in you. Now, these things aren't necessarily contradictory, but this is Ethan's question, it's not mine. Who are you? Where are you in your head? You know what I mean?
Who am I?
Aren't you interested in this, Ethan? A little bit.
I'm interested every time as you talk.
I'm a woman.
And Martin, you know, Olivier, go ahead.
I think I'm a woman, so I have, you know, I'm a mom when I'm with my son, and I'm everything in every different environment that calls for. But I'm certainly, you know, like you said, it's not really contradictory when you think about it. It just it all kind of does come together. Yeah,
facets of different places, different times, different strokes, different people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always been a bit wild, but I've never intentionally hurt anybody. So I've always been, I think, good-hearted, but wild and free. And so.
Yeah. Now, was there chemistry here on this set that
between Olivia and us?
Not
yeah, was there something going on between you and Olivia? I mean, there was something.
We play some games.
But this seemed, you three seem like you guys that would have a great time on the set. That this would be a fun time to do.
I guess it's because the scenes are so heavy and tense, and when you say cut, we just wanted to become like kind of clowns, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you kind of, it's one thing to watch a movie for 2 hours that kind of submerges you in this kind of dark material, kind of underbelly of humanity there, but to spend 3 months doing it, it's really nice to have good people around you, and we ended up having a great time making this movie. I don't feel like we should have, but we did.
What is the most interesting thing about being in America? I mean, tell me about, you know, someone who came from France who's had movies that attracted attention to you, and then another one.
Well,
kind of this.
You have few reasons to choose a movie, so it depends always. Each movie, it's a different story. But on this movie, for example,
Angelina. No, I'm kidding.
No, Angelina was one of the reasons, but not the only one. I need to say that the cast on this movie is quite impressive, and General Roland, for example.
He was a hero to all of us. We're all
for me, from my point of view, when I was a student actor, I was
John Cassavetes
going everywhere in the theaters in Paris to study the movies of Cassavetes, starring General Roland. So when I was on the call sheet with her, it was kind of, I had the same feeling with Marcello Mastroianni also.
Really?
So it happens sometime in life. You are crossing part of the history of the movie industry.
Are French actors trained differently than American actors? I mean, is it different?
First, I'm not coming from the method.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, I'm not an actor coming from the method. I don't need to feel the feeling of my character when I'm playing, and that's very confusing the American actors. But it's because it's a different. I think you don't have any good or bad method. It's all about who you are as a human being and how you can be efficient in your work when you are working.
How you can get inside the character and deliver who the character
sometimes
is.
by just details, you know. I mean, I remember doing a movie called The Horseman on the Roof, who was quite complex to do.
Yeah.
And first question that I asked to myself is, what is a horseman? A guy on the horse.
Yeah.
So my main concern was how to ride the horse. And after everything come on, and that's the way to work for me.
We did work with also Checky and Jean-Hugues and for Ethan. I think it was, maybe there are differences, but it didn't feel that way. I mean, I didn't feel that way. It felt
differences
like in methods of and being actors, but we're, you know, yes, they were from France, we were from America, but at the end of the day, we're all actors, and so there's a nice common bond when that's what you have, where it doesn't feel at all different.
Yeah, I never realized that I was working with American actors, and it's not the first time. I'm working with actors, and most of the time from all over the world, and I think we don't have really a lot of differences.
If anything, it's nice to think that maybe just to mix it up more in general films, it's just a nice thing to do. It makes it more interesting.
What's the best lesson you've ever had? What's the best sort of, where have you learned the most about acting, other than just doing it?
Where have I learned the most? Well, Dead Poets Society was a real pivotal experience for me, just being 18 years old and working with somebody like Peter Weir.
Yeah. Who just did Masters and Commanders.
And I don't know, I feel like, I'm sure you guys feel the same way, particularly if you start young. I feel like I'm a student all the time, you know, and I just finished doing this Shakespeare play over at Lincoln Center, and I felt like that was one of the biggest educational experiences of my life.
What was the play?
Henry IV.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's 4 hours long, and I'd never in my life been asked to work on, you know, things like voice. I mean, it's like being an athlete, you know, trying to do the 4-hour play 7 times a week, and that's something different. And then there's a subtlety to film work, and you know, Angelina, for example, is a tremendously confident woman, and you know, when you can bring that kind of confidence to your work, what it creates for you is relaxation, and that's what any good actor is really working for, is a certain level of relaxation, so that accidents can happen, and so that some kind of natural response can just evolve. You know, that's what I always think the trick is to not have some kind of result in your head of at the end of the scene I want to be crying.
So that it has a certain organic sense, so you find it as you.
Yeah, there's a certain spontaneity to it. Yeah. You know, and that you have to kind of cultivate that.
You two have been at different times in the last couple of years in the public eye because of relationships.
Yeah, he never is.
He's in this.
He's in the public. Trust me.
Same kind of story?
Yeah,
Same kind of story?
No.
Yeah. So tell me what comes out of that experience for you.
Who wants to take it first?
You go ahead.
I don't know. I don't read those papers, and I don't watch TV shows, so I often avoid
So
what
you don't know
rumor.
what...
And there's so many different rumors. I tend to just, you know, assume people are smarter than that because there's so many crazy things.
In other words, there's so many things, so you don't think that you...
No, I mean, unless there's a rumor where it says that I'm, you know, dating a married man or something like that that I think could hurt a family, or is a nasty rumor against what I stand for morally.
Yeah.
Things like that, you know, do upset me, and I want to fix them and make sure that they're not ruining a family.
Right.
And I want to, you know, but...
If it would bring pain to somebody other than...
Yeah, other than that, if it's just, you know, makes me look silly, it doesn't...
If it makes you look silly,
Ignore
you ignore it. Okay, here's my own question about the respective thing. Did all the talk about it in any way eliminate something that might have happened privately to make it better? In other words, without all that talk and all that gossip and all that... No, I'm talking about you and you. In terms of understanding, because you two were in the middle of it, did it do anything to hinder communication between the parties involved? It might have made whatever the solution was more
Certainly,
likely.
in some ways. I'm sure there's not, I mean, not in any specific way, but in every way. I mean, there's so many people involved. There are children involved. There are mothers involved. There are, I mean, there's just a whole world full of, you know, so, but I think what we're saying is just in general, anything that is just really, you know, the bottom part of our society, and all that, you get people just focusing on trash and things that aren't important, or the most negative side of things, the most gossipy side.
You lose sight of it.
And it's just not, it's not a healthy way to be raising our teenagers, to be, you know, you want them conscious of other things.
It's great to see you and meet you. We'll do this again. Thank you as always, Ethan. Thank you, Angelina.
Thank you.
We go out on this. This is Special Agent Scott.